Welcome to the League of Women Voters of Snohomish County Forum for candidates for Edmonds School District Director, District 5. I'm Karen Crowley, incoming president. This forum is being live streamed to our League YouTube channel, so to those in the virtual space, thank you for joining us. We refer to these primary forums as virtual doorbelling. We ask a short series of questions, the kind of questions you might ask if a candidate came to your door. Our questions are designed to give you a clear idea of each candidate's experience and the issues they believe are important to address. A recording of this forum will be available on this same YouTube channel for later viewing. Now, let me provide some background on the position. School district directors set policies on curriculum, such as books, dress codes, disciplinary actions. They hire superintendents. They set district budgets. They work with teachers, administrators, and community members to support all aspects of K through 12 education. The candidates for Edmonds School District Director, District 5 are Nicholas Jenkins, Arjun Kathuria, and Nancy Katims. The League thanks all these candidates for running for office and for their willingness to serve the community if elected and for participating in this forum. Now, it's the policy of the League to be nonpartisan. Therefore, we neither endorse nor oppose candidates or parties. We do take positions on issues which we've studied and on which we've reached consensus. Forum rules were sent ahead of time to all participants, and they have agreed to engage in respectful communication throughout the forum. So let me briefly explain the question and answer period rules, then we can begin. I'll pose questions and will clearly state the amount of time allowed for each answer. Questions were not shared early with the candidates. We're using a countdown timer visible to all candidates, and time limits on answers will be strictly enforced. I'll change the starting order for each question, alternating candidates in the starting position to ensure a fair sequence. So the order for the first question will be Nancy Katims, then Arjun Kathuria, and then Nicholas Jenkins. So let's begin. Candidates, you will have 2 minutes to respond to this first question. Again, we'll start with Ms. Katims, and the question is this: what are the major issues that you feel need to be addressed by this office? And please explain why you're focusing on these issues. Ms. Katims.
Thank you. Thank you, Karen. Can everybody hear me okay?
You're fine.
Excellent. Thank you. So, excuse me. Since I'm currently on the board and currently school board president, I'm going to talk about issues that are ongoing. One particular issue I'm very interested in has to do with student success. We have to protect all our students, and we have to make sure that we give them everything they need, both in terms of their social emotional support and their academic support. I am especially interested in improving our graduation rate because it is, when compared to districts of similar demographics and size, is not as good as it should be. And we know that when students don't graduate, they're less likely to find employment, to avoid housing insecurity or food insecurity. We want all of our students to be successful in what they want to do in the long run. And along those same lines, we are very interested in increasing the access to early childhood education, because we know through strong research over decades that early childhood and forming that foundation is key to kids' later success. A second area that is a very important issue for us has to do with the budget, which I think people who've been following the budgetary problems across the state are aware. Our budget problems are due to inadequate state funding. They're due to lowered student enrollment, for which our state funding is based. And it's due also to the removal of funds that had been given to us by the state and the federal government in terms of what was called ESSER money to help mitigate the impacts of the pandemic. So what we need to do—
Thank you.
Thank
2
you.
minutes goes so quickly. Thank you very much.
I do
Sa-
want to point out the timer was not going. So I was unable to see it. Just
Oh, you were not seeing it. We were
No.
seeing it on our side. So
it just says timer. So I thought for the others it would be, I don't know if the others had that same issue.
well, we'll start it again, and we'll hope that the folks can see it. All
Shall
right,
I
Miss
start it now to check it?
please, let's do a quick test. I see it. Do you all see it? Thank you. All right, timer reset to 2. And now let's go to Mr. Kathuria. Same question, the issues that you're seeking to address. Go ahead, please. 2 minutes.
Thank you, Karen. I am not part of the school board, so I don't have the insights of what other candidates may have. But recently I learned about some budget cuts that happened to the Edmonds School District, and that really intrigued me into learning more about what's happening and where I could help. My experiences have been in consulting and in the corporate world, and I've worked on massive projects where budget constraints have been an issue. So that's one area which really is near and dear to me, to make sure there's enough budget to have enough resources for our teachers, for our students. And then another major issue that I learned was about the lower graduation rates. Again, there's so much that needs to be done to make sure our students are proficient in math and reading and basic sciences. One of my key priorities would be to have teachers who are capable of providing this education to the students. There should be measurements, not just for students, but also for teachers to see that they're qualified, to see that they're doing a good job. And finally, another area of aspect which really bothers me sometimes is how polarized and divisive a lot of school board meetings have become. That's something that is, again, new to me. I am a recent US citizen. Although I've lived here 18 years, I just became a US citizen last year, so now actually can participate in things and issues that are happening. And from an outside perspective, I feel like politics should be kept aside from schools. Students need the best education so they can make informed decisions themselves, rather than politicians pushing propaganda towards and to the students.
Thank you. And finally, Mr. Jenkins, same question to you. 2 minutes, please. Have you come off mute? Be sure you come off mute. So many things to remember. We'll get you there. Mr. Jenkins, you're still on mute. There you go.
There we
All
go.
right,
I've mastered it. Good
there
evening.
you go. 2 minutes. There you go.
First of all, thank you, League of Women Voters and Madam Crowley and everyone else involved for putting this on. It's a fantastic opportunity. The First Amendment really contemplates a public sphere of discourse on the idea that everyone benefits from that. And so I'm so happy that there are institutions like you doing these sorts of things. I listed the concerns Ms. Katims has as she wrote, as she spoke them. I wrote them down, and I listed Mr. Arjun's concerns. I think as a threshold, you just need a principled way to analyze the world. You need some principle that you're going to use to analyze problems. This is what we do all the time. For example, putting this forum on, you've got a set of principles in terms of technology that you need to meet and deal with to be able to put it on. We have to work with a set of principles, otherwise it's a hopeless discussion. So what are the principles? I think that first of all, math and English I don't think anyone's going to disagree that the proficiency levels in these areas are not good. Even the OSBI's own report card says they're very poor indeed. And so therefore the question is, okay, what are we going to do about that? And because that has to be a priority. If kids don't have the math and English proficiency, there's not anything good going to come later in life. So from there, more than list concerns, which tends to be people's pattern in this kind of situation. We want student success. We want to protect students, social and emotional support, these sorts of ideas. I think we need to, first of all, analyze these things under a principle, and it has to be math and English.
Thank you very much. Again, 2 minutes goes quickly. Now, our candidates, you'll have 90 seconds for the next 2 questions. So timer, please adjust the clock. And this question will first go to Mr. Kathuria. The question is this: what qualifications and experience make you a good choice to address these issues? And timer, are we ready? I am not sure the clock is adjusted correctly.
The clock is not adjusting for me. Why is
I'm
it
going
not
to adjust the
adjusting?
clock for you.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Don't you love technology? It's great when it works.
No.
Here we go. And we will go there, and we will go there. All right. There we go. So now, starting with Mr. Kathuria, again, what qualifications and experience make you a good choice to address these issues? You have 90 seconds, please.
Thank you, Karen. While I don't have any elected experience with the school board, I do have a lot of experience in the corporate world. I am a program manager currently with Amazon, and previously I've worked at Facebook, as well as consulting companies such as Deloitte, as well as PwC. I've worked on large projects that involved multiple stakeholders. Some of my projects were public government-funded projects, others were private projects. So I have experience dealing with people. I have experience keeping people accountable. I have an undergrad degree in accounting, so I understand budgets and finance, and I have a business and MBA in strategy and finance. I have worked on, as I mentioned, I've worked on massive projects with various stakeholders that included lawyers, bankers, government, as well as stockholders. Similarly, I can use those skills on projects for the school district. Managing stakeholder expectations is something I hold very near and dear whenever you're working on large projects. Those skills can be applied here, making sure our teachers, our parents, our students, as well as the school management, they're all equally involved. Everyone is being heard, everyone is being served.
Thank you very much. Mr. Jenkins, same question, qualifications and experience. And again, you are on mute. Please unmute.
Sorry, thank you. I am the parent of 2 Edmonds school district children, so I've got some direct experience with the school district at issue. And I'm here to say that there were many committed teachers, and it really was a great institution for our kids. So I can talk, in terms of experience, I still maintain relationships with many of the educators up there. They were, because I see them, and they were very instrumental with our boys. And so I have that experience, just personal relationships. My vocational background is primarily geared to distilling significant amounts of information and analyzing complex problems, and being able to distill things down to a point you can communicate simply what is going on to parents. And I think that would maybe cure some of the trust relationship issues that may arise between the parent and the school. And then from there, there's no question that there's a lot of complexity, but I have the training to distill and drill down. Thank you.
Thank you. And Ms. Katims, same question for you.
Yes. So I'm currently serving in my first 4-year term as school board director in the Edmonds School District, and I'm in my 2nd year as board president. I have a PhD in educational psychology from Northwestern University. I've devoted my entire professional career of over 40 years in public education, with over 20 of those years serving the Edmonds School District as a program director in the Student Learning Department for about 17 years, and now as a school board director. In my career, I've worked in the areas of early childhood, special education, math and science education, student assessment, program evaluation, educational research, and more. I came into the board position with a deep knowledge of teaching and learning. Since I've been on the board, I've broadened my knowledge in the areas of budget, facilities, transportation, safety, operations, legal and compliance issues, and more. We have several pressing challenges right now in the district, including our budget and our students' academic and social needs. And I think the school board needs experienced, knowledgeable leaders like myself to meet those challenges. And I'm more committed than ever to fighting for our kids, our staff, and our families. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Our third question. This time we'll start with Mr. Jenkins. And the question is this: councils, commissions, and boards are required to deliberate and make decisions in public and to hear from those whose ideas may differ. Please give us an example that demonstrates your ability to work in this way. Mr. Jenkins, 90 seconds. And remember to come off mute again. There
Thank
you
you.
go. You're welcome.
Sorry, I had the lights coming in from the window, so I backed up a little bit. My training, as I previously mentioned, I'm a civil defense lawyer over 20 years. I've got to find the middle ground. I've got to find the common ground. We have to resolve disputes. My profession, I am a litigator by trade, and it's to be avoided at all costs. And so therefore mediation and compromise and settlement is just and is key to that. And so it's finding the middle ground. And so I just come back to that set of principles. If we can agree that we need to improve proficiency in English and math, and we know that there's a set of principles that govern the study of math and English, and we start focusing on that, and we're going to find the common ground, and we're going to find great unity in the school district, and it'll conquer some of the problems that I think are being implied here, or Arjun expressly stated about different points of view. We cannot plausibly put ahead of our children's English and math development just as a threshold before anything else. It makes no sense. Thank you.
Thank you. And next, Ms. Katims, same question for you. 90 seconds.
Yes, thank you. So I have had a great deal of experience working with the public in a number of different contexts, but probably the most relevant is being school board president, because I facilitate all the meetings, which means I facilitate public comments, and people have a right to say whatever it is, as long as it's not demeaning or obscene, etc. I've always found in my interactions with the public that it's particularly important to listen carefully to what they're saying, to presume positive intent on the part of the speaker, and to find common ground. And when we're talking about the schools, the common ground is we all care about the kids. We all care about the kids' success. In our strategic plan in the district, we have 3 pillars. We have equity, excellence, and engagement. And when we think about those 3 pillars and we're talking to the public and helping them understand how each one of these is designed to help their child be successful, to help their child feel like they belong, no matter what their background is, that they will have the supports they need academically and social emotionally, and to engage all of our kids and our community into what matters most to all of us, which is the kids' success. Thank you.
Thank you. And Mr. Kathuria.
Thank you, Karen. Let me know when I can begin. The timer's not on yet.
You can go ahead. They'll start when you start.
Great, thank you. While I don't have any experience working in the public sector, one of my first jobs out of business school was at a small finance company that helped small businesses get access to funding. Part of my job was do community outreach, work with various business districts in New York, and help them coach them and guide them on how they can get access to capital. I went to various speaking forums where I received many questions and concerns from small businesses and how they can get access to funding. Apart from that, I've worked in the private sector in consulting and big tech, where I did work on large projects, hundreds of people, that often involved me negotiating with not just people at my level or level below me, but often many senior people, vice presidents, directors of both public and private companies. I have experience as working as a good negotiator, working as a good project manager, and I believe those skills would come in very handy. Those skills are directly applicable to the job of school director, where I would be working with various parties from the government to parents, students, teachers. And I believe those skills, even though I don't have experience working with the public, are very relevant here and would make me a good candidate for the school board director. Thank you.
Thank you. Well, we said we were going to do a short series of questions, and we've actually come to the last question. So this question will be 60 seconds, and I'm going to ask our timer to please reset the timer for just 1 minute. And we're going to start this question with Ms. Katims. The question is this: please tell us something about your life experience that might surprise or intrigue voters. 60 seconds, and Nancy, Ms. Katims, we start with you.
Thank you. It's an interesting question, and I can't help but think of a very recent event, which is that because of the budget cuts, the school board's been very concerned about trying to find funding from community partners. And I took on the initiative over the last several months to work with the Edmonds City Council, asking for funding for student intervention coordinators in our 3 smallest schools, which were not slated to have this kind of support for behavioral disruptions in classrooms that can get in the way of instruction. And I was really excited and pleased and grateful to the Edmonds City Council 2 nights ago, who voted unanimously to give this funding, which is $210,000 to the schools, which will help tremendously in those 3 schools and impacts about 1,000 students and families. So I thought I would share that.
Thank you for that. Same question to you, Mr. Kathuria. 60 seconds.
Sure. I have had various life experiences which might intrigue people, but like one of the most interesting ones might be I came to the US when I was just 18 years old. By myself. My parents put me on a flight, go to America, get an education. And here I am after getting an undergrad degree and a master's degree, living, I would say, my American dream. And I believe all that's been possible because of the education system here. I just became a dad last year, and I have a vested interest in making sure the school system succeeds in providing good education. And that's one of the main reasons why I'm running for office. I want to make sure that my son, along with hundreds and thousands of other students in the district, receive the best possible education, extracurricular resources, and also that the teachers have the best resources possible to make our children into model citizens. Thank you.
Thank you. And Mr. Jenkins. And again, come off mute.
Sorry, I'm operating off it's a glass countertop and the mouse doesn't work. I'm sorry. I've got to remember to put a notepad underneath it. I actually came to the Pacific Northwest in the late 80s, commercial fishing. And I was in the commercial fishing industry up here in Alaska specifically, into the mid 90s. So although I'm a lawyer, I really would like to say I'm a blue collar lawyer. And And one key thing about these types of experiences is that you can relate to people, and because people like plain talk, and it's good to have an exposure outside of lawyering and these professional vocations we have, because we got to talk to real people. Thank you.
Thank you for that. Well, thank all of you. The League appreciates these candidates for joining us and for running for office. A recording of this forum and others will be available on the League of Women Voters of Snohomish County website and YouTube channel, and you can find the links at lwvsnoho.org. We encourage you to explore additional information about these and all candidates. The Snohomish County voter pamphlet will be mailed to residences starting July 12th. Primary election ballots will be mailed starting July 13th. And Election Day is August 1st. Please be a voter. Thank you to our League Candidate Forum team, and special thanks to Dave Moon and the Sultan School students, TurkPride.tv, who made this live stream possible. And of course, thank you all for joining us. This concludes our Candidate Forum.
Thank you.
There we go. Thank you all. We appreciate it. It goes quickly, doesn't it?
Yes,
Yes, thank you.